Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 24 of You Are Complete. So, this week I am shooting kind of on the fly. I was sick over the weekend and I had to cancel my scheduled interview for Friday. And then throughout the weekend, I just didn't really feel well enough to shoot anything. And so I was coming up with all these ideas. I was like, I'm going to do a guided meditation because I don't have to be on camera and all this different stuff. And I realized that I probably needed to just take the path of least resistance and just talk to you guys about what's going on with me and how I use a spiritual solution to get through what I'm going through. So I was struggling with asthma over the weekend. I have had asthma since I was a child, but I haven't really had this severity of asthma. I mean, probably since I'm 12. And I had to go to urgent care on Saturday morning and do a breathing treatment, and it was weird and it was a little bit scary, and it was just strange to kind of have this coming up again. And then all throughout the weekend I had to continue to take the path of least resistance, which was really just resting, right? Just listening to my body and just resting. And so, I felt compelled that I had to create a podcast because I've made a commitment to you guys that every Friday something's going to come out. And so I was trying to come up with all these different ideas of what I could do. And, this morning when I was driving to work, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about exactly what this is like, because what's interesting is that asthma is, though my lungs are constricted and I have this sort of shallow breathing, and it almost feels like there's a resistance to breathing. And the parallel process that was going on was that there was also a resistance to just doing the easiest thing. And so I was able to get into a space to hear what the path of least resistance was by getting quiet and really asking for the guidance. So the best way to get yourself in touch with the path of least resistance is to pause. And I find that asking myself the question, what is the next indicated action, is tremendously helpful. And when I was in the process of getting sober, that was the most crazy transformation I had ever been through. I feel like I went to a crazy place, but I came out a butterfly. It's like the caterpillar, right? The caterpillar has to completely dissolve and turn into something new in order to become a butterfly. And when I was in that space, I was filled with tremendous fear. And sometimes all I could do was ask myself, what is the next indicated action? And I wrote the email. What is the next indicated action? I picked up the phone and called someone. And so if you're in a place where you're struggling or you're feeling really overwhelmed, or even like how I was over the weekend, just kind of a little confused and sort of feeling misaligned, you can just ask yourself, what is the next indicated action? And the answer is usually the quiet, kind of still answer. Sometimes it's the harder answer, but it is the one that intuitively you know that it's the next right move for you. Now, I say that the right thing and the hard thing are often the same thing, but that is where the resistance comes in. I watched a great documentary over the weekend, Tony Robbins, I Am Not Your Guru, and he said this great thing. He said, the choice is made to change in a moment, in an instant, but it's all of the resistance and the hemming and the hawing and all that stuff that goes ahead of it that makes it seem like it takes a really long time to make a choice. But really, that second when you're like, I'm done, or I'm gonna go do this thing, that's in an instant. So when I talk about the path of least resistance, it is to push you toward that choice making point and forego a lot of this additional sort of push and pull and tension and stuff that we create. So the path of least resistance is usually the path of letting go. And so for somebody like me who's having trouble breathing right now, my lungs are constricted and I just really need to let go, right? I just really need to relax, and I just really need to let my body do what it innately knows how to do. I don't think about breathing, it just happens. And so hopefully you guys can take this and try it out today. What do you need to let go of? What is the path of least resistance? What's the next indicated action? Little by little, as you ask yourself that question, you will get more and more in touch with your spirit and spiritually aligned action, and it gets easier. It does. I promise you it gets easier. So hopefully you guys found this spiritual tool helpful and you can stick it in your spiritual toolbox. I love being with you. I'm so happy that I have this space to share what's going on with me, with you. I hope you found it helpful. If you liked the spiritual solution, I am here to help every Friday. I've got a new interview or a new lesson or a new something or other. Who knows what I'm going to cook up for you. I'm also free to do one-on-one sessions with you. It's short term. You can bring me one problem. In 3 to 5 sessions, I will show you spiritual solutions like this that you can use to solve that problem and then apply them to all other things in your life. I've so loved being with you guys. Always remember that you are complete, you are whole, and you are miraculous. And I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.